Ridge might want to watch out, because when Deacon finds out about this whole mess, he could end up getting a surprise karate kick to the face. According to B&B spoilers, Remy is apparently Brooke and Deacon's biological son. Really? The writers must have been sipping on some Remy Martin when they came up with that storyline. And Ridge? Wow, talk about going too far. Calling Hope names like he's some kind of bratty little kid. Honestly, does he really think he's God's gift to women? Because newsflash, he's not. I honestly wouldn't mind if Brooke slapped him across the face for that. The Forrester clan needs to grow up. None of them should be acting like a bunch of spoiled brats. If they were adults, they wouldn't be whining like this. But no, instead, they act like they're stuck in middle school. Seriously, get a grip. And don't get me started on the Logan bashers. Steffi has a history too. She married Liam, kissed and flirted with Oliver in front of Hope, and had a drunken fling with Bill during a thunderstorm. Oh, and that led to her getting pregnant with Kelly, only for Bill to switch the paternity test to make Liam think he's the father. Let's not forget Taylor's history with Bill. So why single out Hope and Brooke? The Forresters are just as messy. Ridge is bouncing back and forth between Brooke and Taylor like it's a ping-pong match. And Steffi? She's dressing like she's on a runway while mixing personal drama with business. It's not professional. And then she makes it personal by going after Hope over her situation with Finn. Mixing personal issues with business? That's not just unprofessional, it's illegal. But honestly, we all saw this coming. When Taylor came back, it was obvious it was to break up Ridge and Brooke. They thought they could make it seem acceptable, but no one's buying it. The writers can only work with the cast they have, but come on, does it always have to end the same way? Give the women a break. Let them be strong and independent for once. They deserve to love and be loved, but not by the same guy all the time. Ridge needs to be put on pause for a while. Let him live alone for a change and see how it feels. Let the women have some fun without constantly revolving around him. Come on, writers, do better. Women aren't sitting around waiting for my go. Let them live their lives. Hey, welcome back to Fiction Forge. I'm Samantha here, and I'm so glad you're here. We've got some exciting stuff to explore today, so let's jump right in. So Ridge going back to Taylor. What? You think that's going to magically fix her broken heart syndrome? I mean, really, after Ridge literally said he still loves Brooke as he walked out? Taylor has to be kidding herself if she thinks that's going to be the happily ever after. Ridge might stick around for a bit, but we all know he'll end up back with Brooke, and honestly, that might end up being worse for Taylor than where she's at right now. Does she really believe Ridge is coming back to her for the real thing? Please, she'll always be second to Brooke, and deep down, Taylor knows it. And here's something I'll never understand. Why does Steffi never blame her dad, Ridge, for being the ultimate commitment phobe who can't make up his mind? No wonder Steffi and Hope fought over the same guys. They are just following the sad, broken pattern their parents set. It's like a family tradition at this point. As for Carter, he admitted it was all his decision. Hope just went along with it. So let me get this straight. If Hope had told Carter to jump off a bridge, would it be her fault if he did? Please, let's not overcomplicate it. He made his choice. Now let's talk about the whole Brooke versus Taylor thing, because I'm honestly baffled by how people villainize Brooke. You guys act like she's the worst thing to ever happen, but have you ever looked at Taylor's track record? Here's a history lesson. Brooke slept with Eric while he was married to Stephanie and got pregnant with his child. After the divorce, she spent years chasing Ridge while he was married to Taylor. Then, she went after Thorne when he was married to Macy, which, by the way, led to Macy's death. But wait, there's more. Brooke then had an affair with her daughter's husband, Deacon, and, don't forget, slept with her sister's husband. Don't even try to justify it by saying her sister told her to do it. Wrong is wrong. The problem isn't just the number of men, it's that most of them were married. and some of them were related to her. Oh, and let's not even get started on that whole mask incident, where she slept with Hope's boyfriend Oliver, thinking he was Ridge. Because, a 20-year-old guy and your 50-year-old husband look exactly the same, right? And yeah, I know Taylor cheated on Ridge with James during the earthquake. But other than that, where's the proof of Taylor being inappropriate or stealing someone else's husband? That's why Stephanie Forrester straight up called Brooke the slut from the valley. She had a point. Lastly, what is up with this Bill or Luna storyline? They bring her back just to stick her in jail? I can't even with the "we're so much alike" lines. Please don't tell me they're actually trying to set up some romantic angle here. As ridiculous as it sounds, I'm kind of getting that vibe, and honestly, I'm about to scream. The four losers are gathered at Eric's place, hashing out how they're going to take back the company's strategy. Seriously, why is Taylor even there? Donna's probably somewhere in another room, rolling on the floor in fits of laughter at this circus. Now, when Steffi FaceTimes Taylor while she's off saving the world, she assures her mom that if Taylor comes back home, she'll make sure Ridge gets his fix. A few weeks max before Ridge is sniffing around Brooke again, all teary-eyed. Taylor agrees because why not? Sip, swallow, and absorb all that drama before heading back into the chaos. Can we just take a moment to acknowledge succubus much? And Sheila, what happened there? First, she was duped by Luna, and now she can't even see through Remy? You'd think someone with her background in complete madness would have better instincts. Honestly, anyone who has a daughter and can still condone what Ridge did deserves a big old dose of shame. Eric's angry? Who cares? The guy hasn't been involved in FC for ages, too busy cheating on Quinn with Donna. He only came back because he thought he was dying and wanted a grand final. And let's not forget, Ridge bullied him about it. Ridge didn't care until he found out Eric might be on his deathbed. So how in the world can Eric be siding with Ridge and Steffi? Makes zero sense. And Steffi as a bully? Please, she's just calling out the girl who's been meddling in her business for months. The same girl who's been sabotaging Finn and Sheila's lives, pretending to have headaches, miraculously stopped after that failed kiss, throwing herself at Steffi's husband multiple times, and getting cozy with the CCO while plotting to steal the company. And somehow Steffi is the bully for talking trash. Right. I'm pretty sure Brooke's going to end up saving FC, and then Eric's going to realize how well she's handled things and beg her to take over as CEO. Honestly, I'm hoping this is finally the end of Ridge and Brooke. Ridge is a walking disaster of a man. I do feel a little bad for Eric, though. So here's my prediction. Brooke will step up, accept the CEO position to try and save the company, and then go to tell Ridge about it. But of course, he'll have already slept with Taylor, and in less than 2 seconds, Ridge will have screwed things up again. Oh, and let me get this straight. Logan fans were all about firing Thomas when he messed up, and they cheered when he got the boot. But when Steffi was wrongly fired for leaking something to the press, that was totally justified, right? But now, when someone gets fired for hitting on the boss's husband, it's a whole different story. I guess the Logans and the Forresters play by different sets of rules. And as much as I'm looking forward to watching Taylor get played by Ridge yet again, let's not kid ourselves. If Brooke eventually runs to Bill after what Ridge has done, she'll be back with Ridge before we know it. It's like they're all on Team Steffi Forrester, and they never truly leave. Brooke, Katie, well, both of them can just run back to Bill. As for Carter, he can always head back to Katie. After all, he's a thief, just a quiet one. And let's be real, the most dangerous kind. Then, of course, there's Steffi Forrester, just waiting to benefit from all this mess. Brooke really needs to remember that Ridge is still hurting, and not just from Carter's betrayal, but from Hope's actions too. Hope didn't just mess with him, she messed with the entire Forrester family. And let's be clear, Hope deserves some of the blame here. So when Ridge asks Hope to leave, I'm right there with him. Her actions have torn his world apart. Brooke should be loyal to Ridge, not Hope. Steffi is watching from the sidelines, loving every minute of this chaos, because it's driving a wedge between Ridge and Brooke, and who knows, maybe even giving Taylor a chance to sneak back into the picture. If Brooke sides with Carter and Hope at Forrester Creations, Ridge will see that as nothing short of a betrayal. Meanwhile, Hope and Carter are over there celebrating in the very office they stole. It's gross. And let's not even get started on Remy. Her destructive behavior toward Elektra needs to stop before it goes any further. Maybe Will be the one to save the day for her, but who knows? As for Taylor, well, she's about to get exactly what she deserves. And honestly, it couldn't happen to a more deserving person. Just a heads up for all the Logan bashers out there. Steffi's far from a saint herself. Let's not forget that she married Liam, kissed, and dressed provocatively to try and seduce Hope's high school boyfriend, Oliver, right in front of Hope. Oh, and there was that little incident at the cabin during a thunderstorm, where she got drunk and ended up sleeping with Dollar Bill, leading to her getting pregnant with Kelly. But of course, Bill switched the paternity test to Liam's name, just to make things nice and messy. Taylor, surprise surprise, also has a history of, shall we say, questionable choices. And yet, people seem to single out Hope and Brooke like they're the only ones with skeletons in their closets. Oh please, the Forresters have their own fair share of drama. Just look at Ridge ping-ponging back and forth between Brooke and Taylor. And don't get me started on Steffi's work wardrobe. Dressing scandalously on the job, and then making it personal by going after Hope over the situation with Steffi's husband, Finn. That's like mixing fire with water. Personal and professional lives should stay separate. Mixing the two is illegal, by the way, just a little legal fact for those interested. But hey, we're all talking about fictional characters here, not real people. Just wanted to share this little reminder with Facebook. You're welcome. It seems like you're reflecting on characters and situations from a show, possibly The Bold and the Beautiful or another soap opera, and discussing the dynamics of certain portrayals, particularly of women. When it comes to characters like Hopeless Hope or others who are shown engaging in inappropriate or morally questionable behaviors, it can be interesting to analyze the way these portrayals are constructed and what they represent in the narrative. It's important to remember that fictional characters, particularly in soap operas, are often exaggerated or portrayed in extreme ways to generate drama or conflict. These portrayals can sometimes perpetuate harmful stereotypes about certain types of women, such as slut-shaming or reducing a character to their sexual behaviors, as you pointed out. In terms of AI-generated content, like the nudes you mentioned, that's a more complex issue that raises ethical concerns about privacy, consent, and the potential for harm. AI technology can be used to create images that mimic real people, which could potentially be damaging, especially if done without consent or used to harm someone's reputation. If we consider the real-world implications, there are serious discussions around the regulation of AI-generated media, especially to ensure that people's rights and identities are respected and protected. So while these situations might seem exaggerated or fictional in a show, they do highlight real issues about consent, exploitation, and the consequences of digital manipulation. Ridge doesn't love anyone but himself and his kids. It's time for both Bridge and Tridge fans to face the cold, hard truth. Brooke and Taylor don't matter that much to Ridge. He's used both women over the years, and right now, Taylor's just the easier option. Honestly, I almost feel sorry for Taylor. Not only is Ridge going to use her again, but she's always been his second choice. At least Brooke brought up how Hope took care of Douglas, but let's be real, that wasn't enough. Brooke should have reminded Ridge how he tried to destroy her belief in their relationship. She could have pointed out how his daughter blackmailed her sister's husband into selling his shares to her, or how her son humiliated Brooke by turning their personal issues into public drama just because Stephanie offered him shares. Let's not forget how his precious daughter went after Oliver, Bill, and Liam, or how she needed a paternity test to figure out if Hope's husband was really the father of her baby. Brooke should definitely bring up how Ridge's son expected Hope to mourn him for the rest of her life, all for his own selfish reasons. And yet Ridge has the nerve to act like Thomas is the real victim in all this? Please, that's absurd. Sure, Hope's recent actions were a mess, but let's not pretend she's sunk as low as Ridge and Taylor's kids. Hope's got a long way to go before she's as rotten as the Tridge siblings. Ridge, meanwhile, expects Brooke to do things for him that he'd never even considered doing for her. After everything Brooke has done for him, he treats her like a traitor. Today, more than ever, I want Brooke to find out about all the things Ridge is still hiding about Thomas. Or how he encouraged Steffi to go after Hope's husband behind her back when she found out they had that one-night stand. Honestly, I'm all for Brooke moving on and finding someone new. Ridge can keep using Taylor until she stops being the convenient option. The way they act like Hope not marrying Thomas is the worst thing ever, especially after everything Thomas has done to both Hope and Brooke is just mind-boggling. And somehow, no one calls out Ridge or Steffi when they whine about how evil Hope is for not marrying Thomas after a few months of dating, fresh off a divorce. Let's not forget Thomas sabotaged Brooke's marriage and framed her for calling CPS on him. He also kept the secret that Beth was stolen from Hope and Liam, causing them months of trauma and robbing them of their first few months with their child. But sure, let's ignore all of that. Hope wouldn't marry poor innocent Thomas, so now he's the victim. He's gonna need a lifetime of therapy because a woman wouldn't marry him after a couple of months. Hope thought her baby was dead for months because of Thomas, but that's totally fine. Poor Thomas. Oh my God, where is Ron Moss? Seriously, am I the only one who can't stand T-Hay? Someone please, for the love of all things holy, bring back the suave, melt-in-your-mouth man who made every break from reality a dream. Instead, we're stuck with a raspy Englishman, or wherever he's from, babbling nonsense with what looks like a severe personality disorder, topped off with a look that screams, "I haven't showered in weeks." Ron, baby, come back to me. Please. I totally get it. I miss Ron Moss too. I've been binging the old episodes on YouTube. Right now, I'm watching the one where Taylor does the press conference to announce she's still alive. And RM was the perfect Ridge. TK, I'm not quite there yet, but I can at least appreciate his acting. He's got this weird, almost constant smirk, even when he's supposed to be serious, which is something. But let's be real, RM will always be Ridge in my eyes. Honestly, the recast was just bizarre. Normally, when a character is recast, the new actor at least resembles the original in some way. But TK and RM? They don't look alike. They don't act alike. Nothing about it makes sense. I never watched when Ron Moss was on, but I remember catching bits and pieces after my Y and R episodes. He was the guy with the shoe polish hair that was just way too much for too long. Diamond is heading down that same road. Moss, on the other hand, looks so much better off the show. Logan Creations, it has a nice ring to it. I wonder if they could actually pull off a name change. I mean, as Ridge said, the fashion world loves them some Brooke. And let's be real, most people will just assume that when Ridge and Taylor get married in a week, that's why Brooke's back in charge of the company. How many times is Brooke supposed to take him running back to Taylor before she gets a little payback? Sure, the Forresters might release their little statements saying they're out once they figure out who's in charge, but honestly, they'll still hang around. Brooke's been the only steady force at FC, while every single Forrester has wandered off for years at a time. Brooke, she's never left. And let's not forget, they've got entire collections for BB and HFTF ready for next season, giving them all the time in the world to find a designer. I'm dying to see what's next for the company. I know this power shift probably won't last, but I'm going to savor every second of it. Brooke's been underappreciated for way too long. So, what exactly do we want for Brooke? I'm over the whole spiraling into a drinking mess thing. Let's actually give her some power back, starting with a solid role at Forrester, an executive position where she's calling the shots. And hey, let's throw in a hot boyfriend, someone who actually knows what loyalty and respect mean. Maybe Carter could swoop in and poach this world-renowned designer to work with Brooke in her bedroom just to rub their success and perfect relationship right in Ridge's stupid face. This guy should be younger, sure, but not in a creepy way. Just someone who gets the modern approach to women and fashion. It would be so satisfying to watch. But here's the thing, I want Brooke to wake up. She needs to see Ridge for what he really is, a selfish jerk. Let him shuffle back to Taylor. I honestly don't care. It's not about Taylor and Ridge together. I just want Brooke to stop giving a damn about him. She deserves so much better. And can we please skip the Brooke falls into a deep depression and starts drinking again plotline? I'm so over it. Let her focus on her career, work her way up, and finally claim that CEO title. Sure, Ridge and Taylor will probably parade their love in front of her, but let's be real. Brooke should just roll her eyes, because she's finally figured out she's better off without either of them. And while we're at it, how about a new love interest for her? If not, maybe throw Bill into the mix. Katie clearly wants nothing to do with him, and seeing him with Brooke would drive Ridge absolutely crazy, like it did last time. Now that would be fun. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.